This video is brought to you by...
Man, we ain't hard to find, man. We downtown Baltimore, man. The heart of downtown, man. 215 West Saratoga Street, man. Come on through, man. Show some love, man. Yeah, you can't miss us. We out on the block with it. We right between Park Avenue and Howard Street, man. Come on through. Until you out of towners, man, you want to get with us, man. Come on through. Put this cool green on. Let everybody know, man, y'all with the city, man, that y'all riding with us, man, that y'all for us, man. Y'all support what we got going on down here, man. Because this right here, man, it's going worldwide, and it's coming straight out of Baltimore, and it's going to be bigger than Ralph Lauren real soon, man. It's coming straight out the city, man, and this what it is. And once you put it on, you're going to see what I'm talking about, man. This the real deal. Come on down, man. If you can't come through and shop with us online. Go online right now, man. CoolGreenClothing.com and shop with us, man.
What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For all the day one fam, thanks for tuning back into another episode. Y'all already know it's all love. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. Growing up in the inner city as a teen can be tough. With peer pressure all around, trying to figure out life, when outside your front door, it's a lot of crime and violence. That's where the old saying comes in at, being a product of your environment. Of course, there's a lot of positivity in these areas as well. But when you are young and impressionable, it's not about doing right. It's all about the cool thing to do. Some teens hang out, smoke a little bit, typical things. But some grow up a little faster. And by the time they are 15 or 16, they are pretty much grown and all the way in the streets. At that age, you might think you know something, but really you don't. It's kids out here leading kids. When you add Blix in, now you have a recipe for disaster. While some are lucky enough to go through these growing pains and make it out on the other side, in some cases, a teen might be living a grown man's life and get jammed up for a serious charge, leading to them giving their life to the system at a young age. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we will be discussing the case of a young man that went from doing a home invasion to a hit just a week apart, leaving him with a life sentence. According to sources, back in 2018, a 16-year-old young man named Dayon Cooper, nicknamed Coop, got into a little trouble from time to time. Like most young kids his age, but nothing major. That is until June 6, 2018. Allegedly, Coop and one of his homeboys decided to hit a lick. The target was someone that the young man knew. They headed to the 4900 block of Antana Avenue in Northeast Baltimore to make the move. A young man who lived with his son and mother was approached by Coop and the other man. Not thinking too much about it because he knew them, the target was thinking he would just say what's up to the men and everything would be fine. Until they pulled out Blix, told the man to stay calm, turn around, and don't do nothing stupid because they had his son. So he did what he was told and led them into his mother's home, where she was inside. The two held the lady and her grandson hostage while searching the home, eventually allegedly finding $15,000 and leaving. After that, police was called and the crime was reported. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but the lady of the house stated she was terrified because she didn't know what they were there for, or whether or not they would shoot. A few days would go by and the name would start popping up in the community about the home invasion. All fingers were pointed at Coop. One young man in particular confronted Coop about the situation. At the time, 17-year-old Cameron Anderson, who friends called Cam. Cam allegedly approached Coop, telling him what he did wasn't cool and everybody knew. Coop wouldn't take the conversation too well. A few days later, on June 12th, Coop was driving a Mercedes that was stolen earlier from Baltimore County. He would pick up a few friends in the whip. One young lady they picked up from school, then drove her home. Two young men will also be picked up. They all was smoking, chopping it up, being typical teenagers, sitting in the car in the alley. When one of the young ladies saw Cameron in the backyard nearby, listening to music, sitting in a chair. The young lady told the others in the vehicle, "There go Cam," in which him and Coop had a little beef about Cam confronting him about the home invasion. Shortly after, Coop started driving up the alley towards where Cam was sitting at, and shots went off before the car fled the area. A neighbor who saw the whole thing called BPD, who responded around 1:30 p.m. to the 5400 block of Sedonia Avenue to shots fired. Once on the scene, they found the young man suffering from multiple wounds, including one to the head, two in the back, one shot in his left forearm, and one to his right knee. He was rushed to Johns Hopkins Bayview, but unfortunately would not survive the incident. He was later identified as 17-year-old Cameron Anderson. The neighbor who made the call saw the whole thing. The Benz creep up, a man who was driving lean out and shoot the team. BPD called all the impound yards around the city to tell them to be on the lookout for a Benz with tents. Not long after, they received the call. They searched the car for fingerprints and found multiple, belonging to a young lady and a few young men. Also, the community were pointing at a shooter, 16-year-old Coop. BPD went to a 15-year-old girl's house and talked to her first and stated her prints was found in the car. She stated she was in the car, but she blacked out once she heard shots fired, but did point Coop out in a photo array and admitted to being there. Then they approached the young man who admitted to seeing Coop shoot Cam and told them information about the home invasion as well. Eventually, Coop was picked up and charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, and other charges. The young man was weighed up from a juvenile to an adult. As the case made the trial, the witnesses would not fully stand on their statements, as one young man and Coop were real close. He recanted everything he told police. But with the neighbor's testimony and evidence against the young man, he was eventually found guilty and at just 18 years old, sentenced to life plus 28 years in prison. Rest in peace to Cameron. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to his family. This situation is sad and reoccurring all over the world. Kids leading kids until someone loses their life. When you are that young, consequences don't seem real. I was locked up with a dude 15 years old in Hagerstown who had life. Everything seemed like a game to him. Coop probably thought he would have respect in the hood and everybody would be scared of him. That might have been the case, but fear is not love. When people fear you, they will either hurt you or tell on you to get you gone. It's sad these young men throw it all away over nothing. It seems cool until the calendars keep going by. And like Beanie Siegel said, you wake up in a cell all alone one night and think to yourself, you never going home one night. We gotta think, is having a reputation worth your freedom? But hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, crazy story. Rest in peace to that young man. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. 16 years old, man, that's a baby, you feel me? And in situations like this, I be really torn because in my mind, I'm like, dang, he was only 16. He deserved another chance, somewhere in the future. But when you talking about somebody else that lost their life and they gonna never get another chance, it's like it's a catch-22, man. But I ain't gonna talk y'all head off. Let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This your boy Tony 2 times. This another episode of the Baltimore Way. I'm out.